Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. Today, we're going to be going over the Batteryman deck profile. Now, if you guys actually look down at the deck profile, it's a lot of interesting cards. Like, some cards you're just like, I'm not really sure the TheCaliEffect. And to be honest with you guys, I was just thinking that exact same way myself. I've actually been playing this deck a lot longer than I would normally play a Saga. Normally I give it like a week and a half, or probably even just a couple days, and I just hop in there and do a Saga. But this deck was different. I actually did not have success with it at first, and I actually planned on quitting the deck and just like scrapping and saying whatever. But I decided to keep pushing forward and came up with some new methods and some new cards that don't necessarily stick with you at first, but then when you start to play the deck, you'll understand why these cards are very good choices. If you guys still have questions afterwards, in the link below, there is a video of me playing the deck and just completely destroying Quillfort and Prophecy. And then there's a how-to-play video of the deck for if you guys do not want to play this specific battery build, or you just want to know what all of the Batterymen that are playable do. Let's get down to the deck profile. For monsters, we're going to be running 2 copies of Batteryman Industrial Strength, 3 copies of Artifact Moral Attack, 3 copies of Charger, 3 copies of Fuel Cell, 3 copies of Mind Vote, 3 copies of Micro Cell, and 2 copies of AAA. For spells, we're going to be running 3 copies of Monarch Stormforth, 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, and Raigeki. The traps, and this is where we get a lot of them at, we're going to be running 3 Sanctum, 3 Call on Hunted, 2 copies of Batteryman Portable Pack, 2 Trap Stun, 2 Phoenix Wound Blast, 2 Fiendish Chains, Solemn Warning, and Compulse. Now, I'm going to go over the extra deck before I even start going back over the deck, so let's get down. We're running Thunder Charger, M7, Durandal, Pleiades, 61, Lava Volchain, Bujentai, Siskiomi, Abyss Dweller, 101, Castell, Starleech, Paladinamo, Excision Knight, Rhapsody, Daigusto Emerald, and Constellar Omega. The extra deck is very interchangeable. As you guys can see, there's some couple of tech choices that I personally like. You don't really need the extra deck that much. You can OTK your opponent without the extra deck, and you don't have to go into the extra deck. Normally, if I'm going against like a Shadow deck, I try to touch the extra deck as least as possible. I normally have my outs in my main board, so perfectly fine. But had you have need to go in the extra deck, we're going to use it for that exact reason. Situations. Now, there's a couple of cards that just probably would catch your attention, like TheCaliEffect. Why are you running Lava Volchain and Bujentai Siskiomi? Siskiomi is a very interesting card. I mean, seeing that I have 5 revival cards that just, special summon my battery monsters to the field, one of them being able to +1 advantage and then special summon 2 Batterymen to my side of the field, I felt that, yeah, I'll get rid of those dead hands that I rarely draw, but if I do, I can get rid of that Batteryman AA and then draw 2 cards. Hopefully it's the second Batteryman AA, which is just even more amazing. But it really helps mitigate between hands that you don't really want, hands that you don't feel are optimal, and it allows you to just be able to draw cards. It's an extremely good card, and I feel that almost every light deck that has the room to play it should play it. Lava Volchain is a little bit different. Instead of me hoping on a hand, Lava Volchain directly sends that card to the graveyard. So for example, if I wanted to just get a quick 9 volt to the graveyard so I can activate Batteryman Portal Pack, Lava Volchain really brings that to the table. Now you can both drop Lava Volchain and Bujentai Siskiomi for the Dark Rebellion card that came out next challenges. I feel is really good. And then Siskiomi you could drop for almost just any other rank 4, or maybe even wind up Zenmayo. It's really up to your opinion, but I just felt that those 2 slots are really interchangeable. I wanted to go with more consistency than anything, and in case I drew a dead hand, because they were almost free spots. Constellar Omega and Constellar Pleiades are pretty fun in here. I mean, you don't make Omega as much, you make Pleiades probably as much as possible. But those 2 cards are really fun in here just because I can make M7 in so many different ways. I can go Omega and stop my opponent from obviously getting over Omega and, swing for 2400. And when he's dead, I can go into that M7. Also the same with Pleiades. When Pleiades is all used up, I can just make M7 afterward. But the most important thing about M7 is that you can make it consistently in this deck. I know there's only 2 level 6 monsters, but those level 6 monsters are very, very searchable, and his cost really isn't a cost. Being able to hold 2 Batteryman monsters on the field. I mean, it's a Batteryman deck. Of course I'm going to have those. There's so many times where I've special summoned double fuel cell, treated the 9-volt and some of the monsters to hit my opponent's field, go into the M7's effect to hit the rest of their field and attack for game, or sometimes I just go into M7 to bring back that Batteryman charger for a Monarch Stormforth play next turn. There's just so many good things about that with M7. Thunder Charger is there because it's Thunder Charger. Like I said, Constellar Pleiades is easy to make, and Durandal is just an overall situational level 5 monster that you make when you want to make some really good plays. Back to the monster base, you really want to focus yourself on Batteryman 9-volt. The earlier you bring them out, the often the better. And there's been times where I've brought Batteryman 9-volt out so much in late game that I don't have any other targets. So that's another big reason why Batteryman AAA comes into play. AAA allows you to make instant rank 4 monsters, provided that you played your deck right. So let's say, for hypothetically, my opponent attacks my face down Batteryman Microcell, and I'm stacked. Like, I already have my charger, I already have my industrial strength, I already have my fuel cell, or I just don't want to go into either of those options. Normally, Batteryman Microcell with summon 9-volt. 9-volt would typically get you charger. If you don't have charger, you might want to get fuel cell. If you don't have fuel cell, you might want to get industrial strength. But you can also get Batteryman AAA. Now, Batteryman AAA serves as a couple of purposes. First of all, it's a level 4 monster that has a Batteryman name, which means it can be special summoned by Thunder Charger. If you already have a Batteryman 9-volt prior and you normal summon Thunder Charger, you special summon the AAA and make an Exceed play. You save that other Batteryman 9-volt for a different situation or just for a microcell play. Also, it's a Batteryman monster, so it's targetable by portable battery pack, where if I don't want to revive 2 9-volts from the graveyard because I'll only be able to get one effect, I can normally choose 9-volt and Batteryman AA and then add a monster, then Exceed into a play and keep going from there. Apart from that, Batteryman AAA's effect is pretty good if you do have one in graveyard and draw the other one, but you normally don't necessarily focus on that. I wish that there was a better level 4 Batteryman monster to play, but I really play it because it has that Batteryman name and it's a level 4. Its effect isn't horrible. At a given time, I was playing Masked Chameleon because I could make Leo and I could make Crimson Blader. 2 cards extremely deadly in the deck. So, for example, I would pair up Masked Chameleon with Batteryman AAA. That would make my Crimson Blader Stardust or whatever I wanted to play. Or I can special summon Batteryman Fuel Cell and make Leo, which I thought was pretty cool. As you guys can see, I dropped the card, but it's still another option to consider. The deck is just really, really good. And you guys think that probably 5 revival cards is a little much. It's not. Your revival cards are going to be practically live all the time. If you look at practically all your Batteryman monsters, they involve bringing out another Batteryman monster. So, I mean, in order for that to happen, you'll probably have 2 Batteryman monsters in graveyard, which means portable battery pack will be live. Call Out Hunted almost serves the exact same purpose, except it can hit roll attack too. And, it kind of brings out 9-volt as well, so it really has a good essence right there. I decided not to main Vanity's Emptiness. I really, really, really wanted to main Vanity's Emptiness. It's mainly because this deck, I don't feel that it has dedicated boards where Vanity's Emptiness would necessarily help. Normally, when I put a dedicated board on the field, I attack for game, so it's like, why even play Vanity's Emptiness? Where more as if I were playing a deck that would main Vanity's Emptiness, I'm establishing some type of crazy board that just can't be beat. And then, it like has some type of protection or negation, and then Vanity's Emptiness comes into play to prevent your opponent from special summoning. Like I said, normally when I do establish a board in this deck, it's game. It's nothing else. A couple of cards that should be honorably mentioned is Battery Thunder Charge, the one that when you control 3 Batterymans, destroy all your opponent's card on the field. That card's really good, but I felt that it was awfully inconsistent. 3 Batteryman monster isn't hard for me to make, but that card's not searchable, and I don't want to like top deck it or anything. That and I kind of already have Raigeki. I dropped Mystical Space Typhoon down to 2 to put in the Raigeki. I feel like the Raigeki is a really good card. For example, if my opponent makes double Dante and has a Vanity's Emptiness or other, I'll be happy to Raigeki them so they can lose their double Dante and have Vanity's Emptiness go on too. Against Shadows, I'll Raigeki their board if I need it to be. Like, it's not that bad against the meta. It's pretty good against Quillfort, but it's not that bad against other sources. Against Rogue, it's almost goddamn amazing. Monarch Stormforth is the centerpiece of the deck. I run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 monsters that I could be using Monarch Stormforth for. So more often than not, when you draw Monarch Stormforth, it's often live. I'm really liking the Artifact Sanctum Moral Attack combo, mainly because I can interact on my opponent's turn. As you can see, the metagame has moved more from traps that activate on your opponent's turn to more that traps that can activate any time. where you guys can see all of my traps can activate at any given time for the exception of Solemn Warning. So, you know, I have a little bit of versatility. With Sanctum, I love when people blind Typhoon them so I can activate Sanctum, especially on World Type and get 2 destructions. Hopefully that doesn't happen in any type of competitive event. But, I interact with my opponent, activate Mortal Attack, I destroy my opponent's monster. Then I have 2 options from there. I can either find another monster outlet to special summon or to normal summon Batteryman Charger and then basically hit for game, or I can tribute the Mortal Attack myself and, you know, tribute summon the Batteryman Charger and just make some plays. It really just depends on my field and what my opponent has. Well, the biggest combo, like I said, is getting out your fuel cell any given time. Your opponent attacks your fuel cell, you get to special summon 9 Volt. 9 Volt gets you any of your Batteryman monsters to your hand, and then you get a free draw. You really just build on advantage from there. And like once you start building advantage, cards like Batteryman Portable Pack, Call It 100, just like build up so much advantage that either you OTK your opponent or you just out advantage them. That's really all I have to say about this Batteryman deck profile. It is extremely fun. YDK is definitely in the description below. Thank you guys for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.